Cool, thanks. So the question was, do we start a new Rhino file for each one? And then there are alternate questions, which you could say basically, do I just change the settings and then re-export for every time? Or can I make multiple copies of it in some way, some form or fashion? The best way to manage this, I think, is to do it all in one file, but there's a caution. And I'll show you real quick. If you select everything, right, at least all the relevant ones, like this stuff right here, you can group it first off, which is useful, and then select it again and copy and paste. Control C and Control V, and it'll look like this. But what you need to be aware of is that just like right here, if I only have one and I plug in 2 inputs to it, this is what it does. It puts 2 graphs into the workspace, or multiple graphs into the workspace. Let me get rid of the one that ooh, it's going really slow now. It keeps baking them. Let me take this off. I don't want it to bake it. All right. So every time you input data, each group of data that you input gets offset by a certain distance. So if you want to change the settings, that's why you can't just do all of them in one, because the low bound and the high bound have to be different. So you have to copy it down and make a separate group so that you can change these. Now, by doing that, you have to think about its position. So if I disconnect this, then what you'll notice is that I only have one graph. Even though there are 2 of them here, they're in exactly the same spot. So really, it's just a matter of changing your base point position. So this base point position, you can override with a new location, and I'll show you how real quick. So if you go to Vector and Point, notice how a little point shows up there at the origin. I'm going to make a slider from from negative, it doesn't matter, you go positive too, but negative 2500. Whoops. Sorry, I gotta make it less than. Negative 2500 less than 0, because now I'm going negative to 0. I'm going to plug the slider into the Y. So now you see that I'm moving up and down here. So I can basically plug this in to the base point of this second graph, and it can relocate the second graph, just like that. See? So as I slide it down, so too does the graph. So that's how you would separate these and make them a little bit more controllable. And then I could switch this one back to dry bulb. Yes?
Sorry, do you use vector or point?
You go to vector, then you go to point.
That's correct, yeah. Under vector and point. Yeah, it will get slow. If you're going to do all 3 graphs in one, it's going to be very slow, especially if you're going to bake them in this file. I would say take off this bake setting until you're ready to actually export it, and get rid of all the extra geometry it creates. This is going to be really slow. Yeah.
Like, how do you get rid of the bake setting?
You just take it off. If you programmed it into it, then you have to right click and say set data item and take it out. If you did not program it into it, then you just take off the panel that you put on. Okay, any other questions about that? All right.